Have you ever had the feeling that something big is about to happen, but no one seems to notice? The world is changing at a frightening speed, and while many see only technological advances and new trends, some recognize clear signs of something much greater. Now, imagine if everything happening around you was actually part of a plan written centuries ago. What if what we call modernity is actually the harbinger of a prophetic time? If you think this sounds exaggerated, wait until you hear what's coming. In 2025, events that have already begun to unfold promise to transform everything we know. But contrary to what you might think, this is not a reason for despair. On the contrary, it's a call to prepare, to reflect, and to act with purpose. And yes, there is a powerful reward awaiting those who stay vigilant. Want to know how these events impact your life and what you can do to be ready? Then stay with me, because the answers you're looking for might be more revealing than you imagine. And remember, sometimes stopping and praying can be the most revolutionary act someone can take. The world, so vast and full of complexities, seems to spin faster every day, doesn't it? With each new headline, we realize that something deeper is at work, almost like a silent melody guiding global events. Imagine, for instance, how technological advancements connect people in real time but also create emotional distances that never existed before. It's not just about what we see on screens. It's about what we feel in the streets, in our homes, and even in our hearts. These changes are like waves heralding a storm, signaling something greater and inevitable. When you think about prophetic signs, what comes to mind? Perhaps ancient stories that sound like legends? But look, contemporary events, such as environmental crises or global political tensions, echo what many consider ancient warnings. A clear example is the convergence of leaders discussing a global pact that, at first glance, seems promising but raises questions about freedom and control. These narratives are not mere coincidences. They are pieces of a larger puzzle forming before our eyes. But, of course, passively observing isn't enough, is it? It's crucial to interpret and act. Here's a practical tip. Take a moment to reflect on the events around you. Ask yourself, how does this affect my life and my community? Make connections between what's happening now and what you want for the future. And as you reflect, know that we're just beginning to explore this terrain full of meaning. After all, the signs don't stop here. The first prophecy reveals something extraordinary: the translation of the Bible into all languages. Imagine the impact of such a grand project that makes the scriptures accessible to everyone in their native languages. A clear example of this is Vision 2025, which combines cutting-edge technology and artificial intelligence to reach people in remote regions. It's like opening a window to the spiritual world, allowing every culture to experience the message intimately and deeply. Have you thought about how this can connect people and communities in unexpected ways? When we talk about conflicts in the Middle East, the second prophecy, it's impossible to ignore the tense scenario that already exists. Nations like Israel face powerful alliances of neighboring countries, while the world's eyes remain fixed on these dynamics. Many see this as a prelude to apocalyptic events mentioned in ancient texts, such as the prophecies of Gog and Magog. Here, the issue is not just political but also spiritual. How do people deal with their differences, and how do these alliances shape the global future? Now, let's look at the third prophecy, the New World Order. This concept seems straight out of a movie, but digital currencies like cryptocurrencies are already shaping the global economy. Promising security and efficiency, these technologies also raise doubts about privacy and control. Want a practical example? Think about Drex in Brazil and how it could make physical money a thing of the past. If digital money is the future, what does it mean for individual freedom? Once again, we see signs that bigger changes are underway. Despite all the signs and events that may seem alarming, there is a promise that transcends centuries. The final victory belongs to Christ. It's a message that transcends cultures and eras, bringing a ray of light even on the darkest days. Imagine the strength of knowing that, regardless of the chaos around, there is a greater plan filled with justice and love. It's like a lighthouse in the storm, guiding those who trust in something beyond the visible. This hope is not passive. It is transformative. Think about how faith can change someone's life. A simple act of kindness, a moment of prayer, or even a decision to forgive can trigger waves of peace and renewal. A practical example? Many find strength by reading passages like Revelation 21 verse 4, which promises the end of all pain. Applying this in daily life means being an agent of change, spreading hope wherever you are. And, of course, this message is also an invitation. It's an opportunity to look within and ask, how can I contribute to a better world? Whether it's sharing words of encouragement or acting with compassion, every step counts. What lies ahead may seem challenging, but it also carries the chance for spiritual rebirth. After all, every ending is just the beginning of something greater. When life seems tough and challenges seem insurmountable, it's natural to feel lost or overwhelmed. But there is a truth that can transform any situation. What we face today does not define our tomorrow. Moments of pain and doubt are often the preparation for something greater. Think, for instance, of a seed that must be buried before it can grow. Similarly, your challenges may be the fertile soil for a future of growth and overcoming. Faith is a powerful ally in these moments, not just as a refuge but as a driving force. Practice small acts of trust in a better future. Take 5 minutes of your day to meditate or pray, even when it feels like the world is falling apart. And if the anguish feels unbearable, remember to seek help, whether from a trusted friend, your community, or a professional. Don't carry your burdens alone. There is always someone willing to help. Moreover, practical actions are as important as faith. Organize your routine and prioritize what's most essential. If financial stress weighs you down, consider learning basic financial management. There are free online courses that can make a big difference. If loneliness is your struggle, join support groups or community activities. Every step, no matter how small, can lead you to a place of peace and renewal. And know that these moments, no matter how difficult, are part of a journey that can transform your life. Now that you've discovered what's to come and how these signs point to something much greater, it's time to act. How can you apply all this in your life? Have you thought about how changing small habits can prepare you for such a significant future? Perhaps start by dedicating time to your spirituality, reconnecting with your beliefs, or even sharing this message with those you love. After all, knowledge isn't something we keep just for ourselves, right? But let me leave you with a challenge. What are you waiting for to turn what you've learned into something practical? The world is changing, and the question remains, are you ready to keep up? Or will you be swept away by the current? Think about it, and remember that the final victory belongs to those who choose to walk with purpose. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. There's much more knowledge coming your way, and together we can explore every detail of these fascinating times. How about sharing this message and helping more people prepare? Your participation makes all the difference.